Football 101. That's right, I am the Beetle, and we are back. We're officially back. This is Football 101 NFL Training Camp show number 2. That's right, show number 2 is the preseason games 1 and 2. That's right, I'm breaking down preseason games 1 and 2. And you're probably wondering, why are you just focusing on preseason games 1 and 2? It's because I've seen enough tape. I've seen enough preseason games thus far, and I had to throw down some of my thoughts, my impressions of the rookies, the veterans, and what it looks like of these teams, and what my predictions will be. Oh, yes, I'm improvising. What my predictions will be in my Football 101 magazine report for 2023, which is coming out in early September. So just pay attention. I'm going to be, not pay attention, but look out for Football 101, the 2023 fall edition, coming out early September as the season begins. But here is my prediction. Here are my predictions of what I see. And you're probably wondering, okay, how many games did you see, Beetle? First, I want to say, let me just stop everything right now. First, I want to thank all my viewers, all the subscribers to Football 101 over the years. I've heard your responses. I'm responding to your responses. And really appreciate your continual support for Football 101 over the years. And we may be doing some new things as the season begins. I heard a couple from a couple of subscribers. They want us to even post some electric football games, and you never know. The Beetle may even do that once the season begins. So I'm just throwing that out there for some of our subscribers. And by the way, for those of you who are not subscribers, please like this video. You know, I'm still hanging in there as a 64-year-old ex-athlete. I don't consider my ex-athlete, but a football player. And coming up on hopefully turning 65 very soon, and I'm still bringing it. And you can see, yeah, I'm bringing it with the Miami Dolphins this year. You know, I'm a little partial to my Miami Dolphins because I used to follow them back in the day, 1972, 73, when they had the perfect season and win the Super Bowl. So there you go. That's a quick synopsis. But I'm going to give you a little bit of the breakdown of what I have seen thus far. I'm going to try to keep this short and concise. I know many of you don't want the long shows, but I'm going to try to keep it short and concise. Okay, here we go. The first game's preseason. There's so much hype on all the stations. By the way, I did see the Hall of Fame game with the Jets and everything. That was fine. The Hall of Fame game. Let me give a shout out to Rondé Barber. Yeah, Rondé Barber, the defensive back who received the Hall of Fame got his coat along with Darrelle Revis and Joe Thomas. Really love, and Zach Thomas, former Dolphins player. Little shout out to Zach Thomas, NFL Hall of Famer officially. But I want to give a quick shout out to Rondé Barber. He was so genuine in his speech and where he really gave it up to those who helped him. He admitted he was an average DB, but he elevated his game once he had received good coaching, outstanding coaching from, guess who? Mike Tomlin, head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers now. He was a defensive back coach way back in the day at Tampa Bay. So a shout out to Rondé Barber. Really love that. Okay, let me get to the preseason games. Games number 1 that I saw, Green Bay Packers beat down the Cincinnati Bengals 36-19. And really was looking at quarterback love from Green Bay Packers. His first time. Now that Aaron Rodgers is gone, and the young brother, Love, he looked really good. You can tell the Packers are really hungry, but the quarterback, he was precise in his delivery. He delivered, what was it, two 2 or 3 series, he looked very comfortable. He was hitting his wide receivers. He was dumping off to the running backs. He looked really good. And let me just say, if that first game was an indication, and they really beat down Cincinnati Bengals, the second team Cincinnati Bengals, but any indication of the Packers coming out hungry may be an indication of how they're going to respond the rest of the year. Just letting you know. But I was very impressed by the quarterback from for the Packers. Love. Next game, Pittsburgh Steelers versus beat the Bucks 27-17. Mayfield looked solid in his first start. I don't. Again, he looked solid. He took the first team down after 2 drives or something like that, and scored. He started off. I think he had an interception in that game, but anyway, he looked solid. Steelers look good. The quarterback for the Steelers, he looked real good. Give him credit. He hit his prime wide receivers. What was it, Pickens? They scored on the first drive. Steelers, very solid. Then there was Arizona Cardinals beat the Denver Broncos 18-17. Big thing, Russell Wilson. They struggled, of course, on the first several series, but the coach kept him in there, for up until the second quarter, and eventually Wilson hit the primetime wide receiver for a touchdown, Judy for a touchdown, and he looked good. Again, getting into the different offense, and you knew it was going to take some time. It still takes some time. So at least on this first game, Russell Wilson was finally getting into stride. The Cardinals, the Cardinals' second, third, fourth teamers, man, they were struggling. They're struggling, but they won this game because the Broncos are playing so badly. And the Broncos are offense is based again on play action pass, but their Broncos defense needs some help. Because the Cardinals, they eventually came back and made it a game. So that was a wrap up on that. Washington Commanders beat the Cleveland Browns on that first game, 17-15. Sam Howell looked good. The Browns, my notes said the Browns suck. That's what my notes say. Oh, the Browns suck. They look bad. But let me just say, but the only one who looked good is the quarterback for the Browns, the young rookie DTR. Oh man, from UCLA. That brother, he's hungry. Let me just say, if you've seen a rookie that's really hungry to make a name for himself, and he's sitting behind Deshaun Watson, the starter for the Cleveland Browns, who gave up everything. Well, he's sitting behind him. DTR looked good. Okay, he's hungry. He looked good. He worked really hard on his technique, and DTR is hungry. You're gonna have to watch out, because if Deshaun Watson bombs, they're gonna bring in DTR. Just letting you know. So the Browns in that first game against the Commanders suck. Okay, the Saturday games for preseason 1. Tennessee Titans, Chicago Bears. Let me give a shout out very quickly to Justin Fields and DJ Moore on their very first drive. They hooked up. DJ Moore coming from the Carolina Panthers. The very first pass, it was a simple back throw and go. It's just a side throw, and he connected with DJ Moore. DJ Moore just took off, scored a touchdown. What was it? A 57-yard touchdown. It was longer than that, but it was magic. And so those two hooked up real fast, and the acquisition of DJ Moore with Justin Fields, man, it's just elevated the Bears completely to another level. So give a shout out to DJ Moore and Justin Fields. And then Justin Fields hooked up with running back Ebert for a 57-yard TD and scored. And that was yards after the catch. And he just took off and scored a touchdown. Really like how Justin Fields is maturing into his quarterback position, and will rely upon many of the skilled athletes, skilled players on the team to just dump the ball off. Don't sit in the pocket and get beat up. Dump the ball off. So the Bears look like they're moving in the right direction. As for the Tennessee Titans, Malik Willis looked very solid, even though he's still trying to figure out. You can still trying to figure out the scheme, trying to see the field. His passes are not zip. He has a great arm, but it's just not coming out on time. So his passes are high or behind, and he's missing some basic throws. And I really like the running back, Tyjae Spears, runs very well for the Titans. Loved his actions. And then, again, like I said, Malik Willis just holds the ball a little bit too longer, and he actually fumbled one time. But he's just holding on to he's second-guessing himself. It's not flowing well. So, and he's being pressured by the new rookie that the Titans drafted. So, hopefully the Titans will solidify that second-string quarterback. Then next, the Jets versus the Carolina Panthers during week number 1. And it was the Bryce Young, the number 1 selection, Bryce Young debut. And let me just say, I'm going to say, my notes say it. Bryce Young, pathetic. It was bad. Let me just, I wrote it down. I'm going to say it one more time. Pathetic. But he struggled. He's mightily struggled on his debut. And the offense was just getting beat up by the New York Jets defensive line. They really didn't have much of a chance. Even the other quarterback, Corral, came in after Bryce Young, and he was getting pummeled. And the Carolina Panthers defense was bad too, and they got beat down on the very first game, 27-0. That's right, 27-0. How's that as a debut for the number 1 pick in the NFL? Bryce Young looked confused. And yes, I even saw in the press conference at the end of the game for Bryce Young, he came up with, I appreciate, players stepping up to the mic, but if you play that back, Bryce Young kept talking and talking and talking, and talks. He actually talked too much, trying to explain why he didn't do well. He needs to slow down. Slow down, step up, analyze things, and you can see how nervous he is now that he has to explain his poor performance. Slow down, brother. You put too much pressure on yourself. So play the tape. Someone needs to help him because it's too much pressure on him right now. They look bad. He looked bad. But that was just the first game. Okay, that was the first game. Let it go. Let it go. Next game, LA Chargers beat the LA Rams. I'm going to come back to that. The Chargers beat the Rams. Let me just say a quick note. Stetson Bennett for the LA Rams got to see action. He looked good, but he was making a lot of rookie mistakes. He throws deep, but he was making a lot of rookie mistakes. Rightly so. He has an edge on himself, but Stetson Bennett, you still got a long way to go, brother. He thinks he can come in just because you're a 2-time college football champion with the Georgia Bulldogs. You're in the pros. You're sitting the bench. Sit yourself down, Stetson Bennett. 2-time college football championship. Sit on a bench. That's right. I'm sorry. That's what rookies have to remember. They get all the hype from college, and they get too much hype. Let me just say, we know they get too much hype, and then the reality sets in. This is the NFL. Sit yourself down, because you got grown men, professional, who've been playing it for a number of years, and they'll show you where to go. Sit yourself on the bench and learn. And then the first preseason games, Sunday games, Kansas City Chiefs, New Orleans Saints. I love them. New Orleans Saints. Derek Carr making his debut with the New Orleans Saints. He looked really good. Derek Carr, coming from the LA Raiders, he fits naturally with the Saints. He was dumping it off to Kamara. He also hitting his tight end. And he hooked up with the wide receivers. Oh, man, they looked so good. They scored on their first drive. Wow. And then Patrick Mahomes came in on the first drive. The head coach wants all his stars to play the preseason. Patrick Mahomes looked like Patrick Mahomes. But again, here goes on the first drive, they were stopped short on the third down. So they said, we're going to go on a fourth down, use trickery, and they got stopped. The Saints came out and stopped them on the very first drive. That was it for Patrick Mahomes during that game. Sit yourself down. Stop the trickery. You're Super Bowl champions, Kansas City Chiefs. But anyway, and then Winston for the New Orleans Saints. Winston came in after Derek Carr looked, and he threw for a touchdown. And Gabbert was backing up Patrick Mahomes. He throws for a touchdown as well. But the New Orleans Saints beat the Kansas City Chiefs. Yeah, sorry, KC. You lose. You're sorry, Super Bowl champs. You lose your first preseason game. There you go. And then the San Francisco 49ers versus LA Raiders. And let me just say, the standout for this game was QB O'Connell, the rookie from Purdue, playing for the Raiders. He looked like a seasoned veteran. Now, here's the advantage of him playing in the Big Ten. He was a traditional quarterback. He looked good. He's a big-time quarterback. He made all the reads, and really, they just stomped on the San Francisco 49ers 34-7. And let me just say, QB Trey Lance looked confused. I'm sorry, the brother, I don't know what they did to him in San Francisco. It's sad. I mean, to me, it's really sad. Kyle Shanahan, the head coach, I'm going to call you guys out. Lynch, y'all sat this brother down for 2 straight years, and now that when he gets a chance, he is confused. He doesn't know the playbook. He fumbled. He threw an interception. It was really sad, and he was supposed to be the starter after Garoppolo left. Now he may not even make the team. It's that sad. And you traded away how many 2 number 1 picks just to get Trey Lance a few years ago, and now you are so crazy about Brock Purdy. Mr. Irrelevant is starting for your team who just won 7. Yeah, he won 7 games last year. Oh, wow. He hasn't. Brock Purdy, wait until this year. Obviously, he's going to be the starter. But I feel sorry. I really felt, first I was going to dog out Trey Lance. Yeah, yeah, the Beatle was going to dog out. But I really felt sorry for him. They didn't set up the brother at all. He's not learning the system. And now they're trying to find a way to dish him now, to get rid of him. You can see it. So that was preseason games number 1. Very quickly, preseason games number 2, moving into the second weekend, Browns versus Eagles. It ended up in the tie. First thing I have noticed, oh my gosh, Marcus Mariota, backup quarterback for Jalen Hurts and the Eagles. Marcus Mariota, I cannot, I've been a big supporter of Marcus Mariota throughout his career once he made it to the NFL. He's a seasoned veteran. Marcus Mariota looked bad. He was throwing the ball everywhere, missing his targets. He is a running quarterback, but he's trying to be too much of a pocket quarterback. And you could just tell now talk about pathetic. That was pathetic for a seasoned veteran. And he knows he's a backup, but come on, Marcus Mariota. It was the broadcaster was coming up with all type of excuses. It just looked bad. Now, the quarterback for the Browns, DTR, he looked good again. This is the second week. He looked good, and he was even throwing blocks. So, like I said before about DTR, the quarterback for the Browns, second or third string quarterback for the Browns, this brother's hungry. And Deshaun Watson better watch out, because this brother's he's gonna make a move, get that starting position. So that game, this second game during the second preseason game, ended in a tie. Panthers versus the Giants. Daniel Jones looked good for the Giants. QB he only played 1 or 2 series. He looked good. throwing the ball. He even ran the ball. They have Waller as tight end now, looking good, looking good. But let me give a shout out. Daniel Jones looked really good. That offense, they mix it up. They really look good. And let me say again, that's when they're playing the Panthers and Bryce Young. Wow, he struggled again. His second preseason game, the number one pick for the NFL, looked confused. He struggled, 3 and out, and again, he's going to have to take some hits. And this is a real deal. This is professional. You're not playing college anymore. When you get hit by these defensive linemen, these defensive hands, it's really a hit. This is not college anymore. This is grown men. They're being physical. They're being violent. But he's going to have to take the punishment. I don't know what he's thinking about. But he overthrew a pass. He underthrew a pass. He did make a couple of good throws, decent throws. But those were, and then they got lucky again and again. The Giants were making mistakes again and again, and then continue to drive. But by the end, the Panthers lost this game, and Bryce Young, wow. Okay, I didn't even want to look at the press conference afterwards because he looked so dejected during the game. I'm telling you, I told you, some players look like they got it, look like they're hungry. Bryce Young doesn't look like he's hungry to start. He looks confused. He's looking for a way out. Yeah, I said it. He's looking for a way out. So watch out. Yeah, watch out. Again, he needs a lot of nurturing. This brother needs a lot of nurturing. And they're being the commentators are being so nice to Bryce Young, showing all of his college stats. Well, guess what? All his college stats at Alabama don't make up nothing when you're in the NFL. Sorry. Take your Heisman and keep it on the shelf. The brothers don't even want to. And then what's the bad part? And when he comes off to the sideline, I'm looking at the players, his own players on the Panthers team. They giving him the wide eye. They giving him that ugly eye when it's standing along the sideline. Check the tape. The brothers are kind of like second looking at Bryce Young. I take the cues from the brothers on the team. And wait a minute, I played the game. When brothers start looking at the star player wide-eyed out the side of their neck, they're getting concerned. Sorry about that. But check it out. Check out the teammates of Bryce Young. They'll say the right thing, but their mannerisms is saying it all. Okay, I'm done. Now moving on to Dolphins versus Texans. Oh, let me say Oh, yeah, my Dolphins. Tua and Tyreek Hill and the boys look good against the Texans. I just saw the game yesterday. Look good. They're in stride. Even though Tua threw an interception on his very first throw, they came back and drove the field, scored. Tua looked too good. Tyreek Hill looked too good. The running back hitting the flow. Let me say on the defense, Xavier Howard, DB corner, playing on the first drive as a defense. He made a stop against the Texans. They look good. Let me give a shout out to also the QB for the Texans, J.C. Stroud from the Ohio State University. He finally settling into his course. See, you can tell when a rookie quarterback, is studying the tape, studying what he had to do over the week. The first week, C.J. Stroud did not do well. This week, you can tell he matured. He was making his reads. He was faking. He was actually looking one side and then looking for his reads on the second and third throw, and he was connecting. He matured from week 1 to week 2. That means he's being humble. He's asking questions. He's not being arrogant. He wants to learn, and it showed on the film. It showed during game. So that's the difference. You can tell that. So watch out. CJ Stroud is elevating right now. Let me give a quick shout out to the number 3 pick that the Texans had, Will Anderson, the defensive end for the Texans. He came from Bama. Wow, this brother is physical. He came and put a hurting on the backup quarterback for the Dolphins. He just blew away the running back and made a sack. Oh my. Now that is a brother, he's ready for the NFL. There's certain folks, they're ready for the NFL. Brothers like Will Anderson, he's ready. Watch out. He may be potentially rookie of the year because they got a decent defensive line. It's just that their linebackers and secondary are going to get torched. It may be a long year for the Texans because they're just such a young team, but they have some good veterans, but they're just such a young team. But look out for Will Anderson. Give props to Will Anderson. And then the final game that I saw yesterday, final preseason game, the Jaguars against the Detroit Lions. Well, the Lions didn't do too well. They got blown out by the Jaguars yesterday. They were starting Teddy Bridgewater. Oh, Teddy Bridgewater, veteran brother QB, just started, was acquired this past week. And he wore the number. By the way, this is Teddy Bridge. He's a graduate of University of Louisville, and he's had some trials and tribulations. We know that. And he was actually playing for the Miami Dolphins last year. But anyway, here's Teddy Bridgewater wearing number 50, number 50 for the Detroit Lions. It looks like he just don't care anymore. He was getting pounded. His throws were bad. It was off, up, high, low, not even in between. And then he was getting trounced by the Jags defensive line. Jags came out to play, and they really put a hurting on the Lions. Then all this hype with the Lions. The first team is good, but their second and third team, wow, they need some help. But Teddy Bridgewater looked like he really didn't care, and they're going to need, if Teddy B doesn't get his act together, which he will, I'm sure he will, they'll need another veteran quarterback to back up their starting quarterback, Goff. But other than that, that's it. That's my report. That's my report for preseason games number 1 and number 2. We have some stars. Again, like I said, we have some stars. Derek Carr. We have some stars. Tua. We have some stars. We have CJ Stroud. We have some stars. But then O'Connell. But then we have some players that just not meeting up to their so-called standard, at least during the preseason. And the number one person who is not living up to it, I would have to say, by far right now, is Bryce Young. Not living up to it. Not living up to the hype. That's my story during preseason 1 and 2. Don't want to report it, but that's what I've seen thus far. That's what the Beatles see thus far. I'm telling it like it is. I don't cut any corners. That's what preseason is all about. This is what NFL is all about. This is what football 101 is all about. I'm bringing the pain. I'm bringing the reality. And that's what you get with football 101 and the Beatles. Stay tuned, everyone. We're just getting started for this entire year. Please like and subscribe, because I'm going to continue to bring it to another level. Let's do this.